Oh, wow. Hello and welcome back to my kitchen again. So today we are going to be baking with pumpkin puree. The other day I whole roasted a pumpkin in the oven, and then I got the puree from that pumpkin. So I've got two recipes here today. We're going to make pumpkin bread. I will link these in the description. I've not made these before, so they're not my recipes. And the other one, when I was looking up pumpkin recipes, I found another one that looked quite nice, and it ended up being the same person, so that was pretty cool. And it's called a pumpkin roll, so it's like a Swiss roll, but it's pumpkin flavored. So I have never baked with pumpkin. Tell a lie. I made a pumpkin pie with a can of Libby's pumpkin pie puree, and I didn't like the pumpkin pie. But I'm going to try again, and I'm going to use this pumpkin. Maybe it was just the taste of a different type of pumpkin than what I'm used to. So I'll make one with the pumpkin that I'm used to, and my husband loves pumpkin pie, so we'll make him a pumpkin pie, but not today. So yeah, we're going to make these two recipes and see what they're like. And as I said, I haven't done any baking with pumpkin. And I had 3 pumpkins that I needed to get rid of, so it was perfect really. So the first one we're going to make is the pumpkin roll, because it only cooks for 13 to 15 minutes, whereas the pumpkin bread cooks for an hour. So I'm going to use the Kenwood for this one, so I'll get that out. Good old heavy Kenwood. And then I'm just going to get all the other ingredients out that I need, so it sort of quickens up the whole process. Everything's out on the bench over there. I've got 2 baking trays, and I'm not sure which size to use. It says a 10-inch by a 15-inch, but yeah, I will just have a look at the mixture, because I've only got a centimetre. I suppose I could to Google it, but I'll just eyeball it. That's what I always do. So I've got that ready, and I've preheated the oven. I'll leave the recipe in the description, of course. So we're going to sift the flour, salt, spices, baking powder, soda into a medium bowl, then whisk together and set aside. It suggests that you fluff up your flour beforehand to get an accurate amount of flour. Flour, we need 3/4 of a cup. Three-quarters of a cup of flour, and salt. How much salt? 1/4 teaspoon. Spices, okay. Allspice is 1/2 teaspoon. Teaspoon. Cinnamon is 1 teaspoon. Ginger is 1/4. This sounds like a pumpkin pie spice. That was the ginger, and 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. I prefer to, if you're going to use nutmeg, use the actual nutmeg nut, because you're going to get a better flavour of nutmeg. Wow, I can already smell that nutmeg. I just want to, these weren't expensive to buy. I've just got these nuts in here. That's what it looks like. Now the smell of that compared to the ground nutmeg that I've got. There's barely any smell, and it's not that old. So when I found nutmegs in a specialty shop, I bought them. Oh wow, that's so beautiful, so heady. I'm so pleased I brought them. So if you find them, I definitely recommend you getting them. Personally, I'm just going to chuck that out. It just had no smell at all. Half a teaspoon of baking powder. Baking soda is half a teaspoon as well. Make sure there's no lumps. Those are both rising agents. So just to make sure that I've got everything in here: nutmeg, salt, ginger, allspice, cinnamon, soda, flour. When does the sugar? The sugar must be with the eggs. And to anyway, whisk together and set aside. You just want to, because it's a sponge, you just want to aerate these ingredients. That's why it's asking you to whisk it, just to make sure that it's lighter, it doesn't punch out all the air that you're about to make. Okay, so that's ready to be set aside, and now we're going to combine the eggs, vanilla and sugar in a bowl, and then whisk until lighter in colour and smooth. Okay, so 3 large eggs. These are 3 of my largest ones, and because they are farm eggs, they've only been laid yesterday. I always like to still check. 3 large eggs. Two. 3. And the sugar is powdered sugar, and it's 1/4 cup. Don't want to use the baking soda. Powdered sugar because obviously you don't want granules of sugar in a sponge, which is basically what this is. Vanilla. Oh, oops, I made a mistake. I didn't read it properly. It said granulated sugar, and I just put in the icing sugar. That's for the top. Okay, because it made sense to me that you wanted icing sugar instead of granulated, but that's fine. Okay, so we are going to get 1 cup of caster sugar. It'll be okay that there's some icing sugar in there. That's not going to be a problem. Yeah, I'll probably just make it 3/4 cup. And we have 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. 1, 2. Now I'm just going to beat this until it's light and airy. It's already heaps lighter. I'm just stopping, and I'm going to just make sure that everything is well incorporated, and then keep beating it a bit longer. Get as much air as you can into it. You see how light and fluffy that is? So we're just going to add 2/3 cup of the puree. Okay, now we're just going to beat that again. Okay. Right. Now we're going to fold in the rest of the ingredients. And it says don't overmix. And to fold, you just do big, careful circles. You don't want to take all the air out that you've just put in with the eggs. Of course you want everything to be combined though. You don't want pockets of flour either. Bring over the pan. Definitely think I'll use the small one. And I use these little clips. They're called bulldog clips. And I do that to help keep baking paper down. See? Little clips. So I just keep them now to help keep that down. Offset spatula, get it into the corners. Goes to show I make mistakes too. I should have googled it, but this just looked too thick compared to the recipe, so it was the bigger pan. Now how am I going to get this in without deflating it all? Just do it carefully, I guess. Oh, what a mess. It's okay, things can get fixed. That looks much better. Better to fix the problem than have cooked it or wasted the ingredients and started again. Now to use the offset spatula again, much better. Now it's a thinner batter, which is what you want. Otherwise that would have been far too thick. Luckily I can still see lots of air in the mixture. Try and get that as even as possible. And into that corner. I could spend ages just doing that, so I'll leave it at that. Puree clean hands. That looks much better. Alright. Don't do as I did. Take these out now that I've poured it in. Make sure that it's gone all the way to the ends. Now I'm going to pop that in the oven. 13 to 15 minutes. Wow. On to the next recipe. Let's hope I do a better job. Quick tidy up first, because like... Okay, so now we're going to make the pumpkin bread, and then while we're waiting for that to bake, so it can go straight in afterwards, and then I will show you the next step of how to roll this pumpkin roll. Okay, the pumpkin bread is just slightly lower temp, so that's fine, that can come in. I've got a loaf pan, a large mixing bowl, whisk together flour, baking soda. So you're going to whisk together those ingredients again, similar to last time. Okay, so we need 1 3/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I've actually got the weights here, so I might just get my scale. I've got my scale as well, so I'll tear that with that bowl on top. So we need 1 3/4 cups of flour. Or what's it, 210 grams. It's be interesting to see how accurate. Oop. Yeah, so that's slightly over. Oop. Yeah, perfect. Put that there. Baking soda, and I need 1 teaspoon. It's half a teaspoon, that's alright, I'll just do 2. 1, 2. Baking powder, half teaspoon, and salt and spices. So the salt is half a teaspoon, and then cinnamon. We want 1.5. 1.5 ground cloves. I didn't get that out, so I'll grab that. The pumpkin roll smells incredible. Okay, so 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove. Quarter teaspoon of ginger. Nutmeg. And I'm not sad about doing this again because it smells delicious. I love custard tart and the nutmeg on the top. Right, is that it? Yes, that's it. It says to whisk that like the last time. In a mixing bowl, combine the pumpkin puree, sugar, oil, eggs and vanilla. Whisk until well combined. Done. won't use a machine, I'll just use my whisk for that one. Pumpkin puree, we need 1 1/3 cups, or 300 grams. 300 grams. Now, while I was making the other one, I noticed that the pumpkin's a little bit stringy, so I may have scraped it just a little bit too much. But should be okay. This is good, it's using a lot more. Gosh, that sponge smells delicious. Okay, 300. Pop that in. Pumpkin puree, sugar. Okay, sugar we need 150 grams. I'm almost out of white sugar. Gone through my supply. Oil, and oil, 2/3 of a cup. And how many eggs? 2 large eggs. Vanilla. Great for the arm workout. Look at that colour. Can you even see how, with the combination of my free range eggs and the orange of the pumpkin, yum, well combined. Pour wet mixture into dry and combine, pour into the batter. That's it. My pan. Just taking this out of the oven. Super hot, but you're wanting it to spring, which it is, and it's fully cooked. I can tell, you can use a toothpick, but I can tell that's ready. Perfect timing because this is ready to go in the oven. Away. So this says you might want to cover it halfway through cooking. I'll put this on because I need to quickly deal with that sponge. Okay, so I have a clean tea towel that's stained, if you notice that. You want to line this with powdered sugar that quarter of a cup that I put in. Ooh, throwing it everywhere. I'm going to grab the sponge and plonk it down onto the powdered sugar. And I'm going to carefully peel back the paper. I'm so pleased I changed the pan. Oh, this smells so good. See a bit better now. Just take your time. I haven't made a Swiss roll for years, probably going on 30 years. Right, okay, so peel back them, roll tightly. Oh, now which way do you roll? That way or this way? I'm gonna say it's probably this way. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna have to check. It is this way. You want to do it while it's still hot. And then you put that on a rack. And we're just going to let that to cool right down. Right, so I've got a bit of a mess to clean up. So I'm going to do that now. That sponge roll is going to cool completely now, and we will make up the cream cheese frosting shortly. But in the meantime, I'm going to have a tidy up. Right, and the loaf is all done. This smells fine. I love the crack along there. It's like with date loaf. I love to make date loaf. Actually, that's a recipe I should share, but this is pretty much like it. So we're going to make the cream cheese frosting for the Swiss roll now. So we need 8 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature. So this has been out for quite some time now. Oh. It's in there. Bringing the butter and the cream cheese in the stand mixer. Got the whisk on, so I'll get some butter. That's 6 tablespoons. Which is roughly about 85 grams. That's probably about that amount. I'll whisk that until it's nice and airy. make sure that you do this as well. Scrape down the sides. Teaspoon of vanilla. Cup of powdered sugar. Should be sifted. I'm sure the mixer will sort out any lumps. Mix until fluffy. Perfect. So you just want to, you shouldn't be able to taste any graininess of sugar. No, that's perfect. Okay, here's the roll. Totally cold now. Actually, that was the correct way I wanted it. And we're just going to spoon make sure you push it right into the end here. And we're going to cut the edges off, make it look a bit nicer, so don't worry about spreading it to the edge too much. We want it to be fairly even. And then we're just going to roll it up again. It's just slightly stuck to my tea towel. Obviously didn't put enough powdered sugar on there. That's okay. I'm just going to get some plastic wrap. Going to put this in the fridge to let it set up. Oh, this smells so delicious. And pop that into the fridge for about an hour. Oh wow, my butter's a little bit too hard. Right, my first go at something with pumpkin in it that's sweet. Oh my gosh, that is so, so yum. Y'all, I know why pumpkin spice is such a thing in fall for you guys in America. You just feel like you want a cup of hot cocoa and sit in front of the fire and eat this. It just gives you that warmth taste. It's so delicious. But I don't care, it's spring here and it's still delicious in spring. And if you've got pumpkins left over, great recipe to use it. I've got so much puree now, I might even whip up a couple more of these and pop them in the freezer, and then I can just take them out when I don't feel like baking. Oh, so yum. Great recipe. Right, it's been a few hours and I'll get the pumpkin roll out of the fridge. I can feel that's firmed up quite a bit. Probably could go a bit firmer, but we're going to plate this up now. Very pretty. It's a shame that I didn't get the curl into here a little bit more, so I needed to be a little bit tighter. And you can dust with icing sugar on top, and you'll do that just before serving. Really beautiful little plate. I love to collect these types of plates. Here's my pumpkin roll. Okay. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. It's been really nice trying some pumpkin puree and some baking recipes. I absolutely love them. I love the spice mix taste. Now we're just going to try this. My husband, I think, is going to absolutely love this. Oh my goodness. You have to try this. Seriously. Oh wow. That's all I can say. I'll leave the recipe in the description. Wow. I cannot say that enough. Delish. I'll catch you on the next one, hopefully. Bye.